Hi, welcome to DSL Online. Today we're going to be talking about major scales. Let's jump into it. Here we go.
How are you? How are you? The sun shines so bright when I'm with you.
So what is a scale? So a scale is just a collection of notes, and this collection of notes occurs so frequently in music that it's just given a name, such as a major scale or a minor scale, and there's many other types of scales as well. But in Western music, one of the most commonly occurring scales is the major scale. So that's always the place to start with beginners and people that are trying to get better at their instruments. They start learning their major scales. Many teachers have different ideas and approaches to teaching major scales. Some start with one octave or maybe just up to the fifth, different rhythms and different approaches to getting you more comfortable. The way I believe in approaching and starting to play major scales is just by jumping to what we call full range scales. To get a better idea of what I'm talking about, let's look at the C major full range scale that I have here. As you can see, the scale starts on C and it goes up one octave, but instead of going back down, it continues to go higher. Once you hit the highest note that the saxophone can play, then you start going down. And you go down all the way back through all the notes we played, and then we go to the lowest note that the saxophone can play that's in that key, and then we go back up to the starting note. So if we wanted to play this scale, what are the fingerings? What would it actually look like to play it with our fingers? So we'd start on low C, right? So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus C, okay? No octave key. Then we're going to go up the scale slowly. And when we're going up the scale, even when you're practicing and just looking at the fingers, make sure that you're always practicing good technique, which is going to be pushing down the keys enough for them to seal, but not pushing down the keys far enough for your fingertips to turn white or for you to be pushing real hard. You don't need to push hard, just enough so the cups seal. And then when you lift your fingers off, don't let them fly off the keys, just make sure that they're just lifted by the actual springs and don't actually leave the keys, right? Okay, so continuing going up the scale, got low C, D, E, F, G, A. I'm lifting my fingers off just so you can kind of make sure you can see what I'm doing. But, G, so now we're on A, B, and then we're going to go to C. Then we use the octave key on the back. We're going to go to D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C again. And now this is where it's a little bit different. We're going to keep going higher using the palm keys here. Right, so the first, you're going to hold the octave key on the back the whole time, and then you're going to, for D palm, that you're going to use this first outside palm key, okay? And then the next note in the scale is an E, so you're going to add the second palm key, it's going to be the first two, and then you're also going to add, if you can see it, this top key there. I think that's called C3. Okay, so we're gonna add this key there like we mentioned. And then you have to go one note higher. So we got 1, 2, and then all 3 palm keys down. Continuing to hold that down. That's the highest note we're gonna play in this scale. And then we're gonna start going back down. So you're going to take off F, and so you're only gonna have 2 palm keys down. Like I said before, I'm lifting my hand off so you can see what I'm doing, but really what that motion should look like from F to E is literally just F, E, F, E. See how my hand's barely moving? They're still even kind of resting on the pearls. Good. Okay, so now we're gonna go down to D, so we're gonna release this and take off the second palm key, so now I'm just holding down this one. We're at D. Okay, now C, and then we're going to continue going back down the scale. And then C, B, A, G, F, E, D, and then back to low C. Now we're going to go to the lowest note that the saxophone can play in that scale, which is only actually going to be one note lower. We're going to go down to B. So you're going to keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and C down, and then we're going to add the inside palm key. So not that one, not that one, not that one, the inside one. All right, so then we're going to go to B, and then we're going to go back to C. So you just lift off B, and then we're there. And that's how we're going to practice our major scales, full range. So if you start with full range scales, you're going to find yourself quickly getting comfortable with the whole saxophone, every inch of it. I think it's too often that you see beginning saxophonists not knowing what stuff does on their saxophone, or not even knowing how to go to certain parts of their instrument, or thinking it's too hard or challenging. But if you just learn it right from the beginning, it's going to be just as natural as any other part of the instrument. So it's really important to start with full range scales and just get used to it right from the get-go, right from the beginning.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So as I mentioned before, this might not be super comfortable or easy at first, but learning to do scales this way is going to be really, really helpful as you develop, and it's going to help you get more and more comfortable on your instrument. So I highly recommend trying to learn all of your scales this way. With all that being said, that about wraps up this episode. Be sure to check out my Patreon page for more content. I also have stuff available on YouTube, as well as my website, dugansmith.com. So be sure to check all of that out. Take care.